Hey everyone, I'm Mr. Hartzler, and I want to talk to you about relations and functions. And let's get started by vocabulary, of course. So, domain, it's all of our x values. They're also called inputs. And then we have functions, and they're really just coordinate points that don't have any repeating x values. So, like that example here, right? Right there. 0, comma 1, and then 2, comma 3. 0 only happens once, 2 only happens once. So we're fine, that is a function. Now let's look over at the not a function part. I have a 3, comma 4, and then a 3, comma 5. Since that 3 happens twice in the same group of numbers or same group of coordinate points, it doesn't pass. It fails. It's not a function. I could also look at a graph, and if I have 2 points on top of each other, not a function. It doesn't pass what we like to call the vertical line test. If I draw a vertical line anywhere on here and I cross 2 points, that's a fail. That's not good. It's not a function. So a quick picture, if I've got a shape like this, kind of a parabola on its side, fails the vertical line test. So it's not a function. If I have a circle, fails the vertical line test in most of these spots, so it's not a function. Most of the time we're going to deal with coordinate points though. And if I have a repeating x, not a function. Inputs, my x values. Outputs, my y values. Range, that's the list of all of my y values. Just like domain is the list of all of my x values. And then relation, that is a list of coordinate points. That one is not picky at all. I can have a whole bunch of repeats. So that one, it is not a function right here, but it is still a relation. That's still fine. Let's go look at some examples. My first example, I have 2, comma 2, or 6, comma 2. I'm not going to read them. But is it a relation, a function, or both? Well, do I have any repeating x values? So I have a 6, and then I have a 2, and then a 1, and then a 0. None of those repeat. So I am, in fact, a function. Now, are these all coordinate points? Well, yes. So it's both. Now, inputs. I'm just going to list out all of the x values, or all of the front things in each of these sets of parentheses. And I'm going to write them out bad first and then better second. So it's a 6, I have a 2, a 1, and a 0. I don't want to write it in this order, though. I actually want to write it in smallest to biggest. And I usually start off with a squiggly bracket, and I write 0, 1, 2, 6. And I end it with a squiggly bracket. Now, outputs, my y coordinate points. Those are the second half of each of these coordinate points. So I have a 2, 6, 4, and 4 again. That's okay. I'm allowed to repeat outputs. I just cannot repeat inputs. And I'm not going to write that second 4. There's no need to. Oh, lights turn off. So I'm just going to write the 2, 6, and 1 of the 4s. And again, I want to write that in ascending order. So 2, 4, 6. Look at this next example. Oof, looks kind of weird. So x comma y, that's my coordinate point. So it's at least a relation because this is set up like a coordinate point. That vertical line right there, that means such that. Or I like to think of it like a big but. So it's a coordinate point x and then y, like they usually are. But x plus y has to add up to get me 5. Okay. Well, that means my inputs can be infinitely many things. I actually have infinitely many of these values, right? It could be a 1 and a 4, or it could be a 2 and a 3. And I could go down to decimal places, and I could be a whole bunch of things, right? I could have 1.5 and then 3.5. So it's a whole bunch of stuff. But the important thing is to note, whatever x is, it's only going to give me one y value. There's only one way to add some number or add two numbers together and get 5, right? This thing, no matter what it is, that y is then going to be special to that thing. Like it has to be 1 and 4. It can't also be 1 and 3 because that doesn't add up to get me 5. So that is still a function. So this one is also both. Now my outputs, still infinitely many. I could have a whole bunch of y values because I could have a whole bunch of x values, and those are all going to relate to each other. Let's go check out our next example. They aren't as bad. All right, told you, not as bad. None of that weird squiggly stuff. Ooh, actually missed the squiggly bracket right there. All right, so relation, function, or both. So I'm actually going to list out my inputs first. I have a 1, a 2, a 1, and a 0, right? I'm just pulling that first part. My input is the first part of those parentheses. And you'll notice I have 2 1s there. That means it cannot be a function. But they're all coordinate points, so it is a relation. And again, I'm going to write this in ascending order, and I'm not going to write any extras. I'm not going to do the duplicates. I don't need to write both 1s. There is a 1 there. And outputs, those are the things that come out. 3, 4, 7, and 3. Remember, that part's not a problem. There's 2 3s there, not an issue. 3, 4, and 7. And I'm not going to write the 3 twice. There's no reason to do that. All right, so that one was just a relation, not a function. Let's check out this one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start with my inputs. My front thing in each set of parentheses, I have a 1, 2, 3, and 4. Awesome. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you'll notice I put them in order from the beginning there. So that can be helpful. Outputs. Those are the things that came out of each set of parentheses, or the thing on the right. 3, 4, 5, 2. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, I'm just shuffling those around so they're in a nice, pretty order because I like them like that. And that's it. That's all, folks. Have a great rest of your day.